Welcome inside Studio S. My name is Dan Koob, Director of Content here at Sport Trade. Joining me, as always, at least once a week. Sometimes we'll do it more. She is Anita Marks, Miss Sport Trade. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. My bracket is alive and thriving,
You're the one.
Dan.
You're the one person then. I was thinking about this last night, Anita. I was going through college basketball withdrawal, and then I remembered. I was like, "What's Tuesday night?" Which means we've only got about 48 hours until the madness is back in our life. And it gave me a nice calming, it was like drinking a nice Earl Grey. It just kind of fell over me, and I just fell into a very peaceful sleep.
Yes, but the games don't start until 6 o'clock at night. Like I that's what I love about week one is the games start at noon, right? And
That's true.
like you've got the whole day and the whole night. You just it's like just you're I don't know, you're at a buffet at like on a cruise or something. It's like the midnight buffet on a boat cruise or something like that. It's just,
Oh,
so don't get me wrong, beggars can't be choosers. Thrilled that we're back in action on Thursday and Friday for Sweet 16, Saturday and Sunday, the Elite Eight. My phone's blowing up. As always, I'm pretty popular. People want to hang out with me. I'm like, no, sorry. I'm home. I'm watching the games. Not this weekend. Sorry, can't do. So yes, I'm thrilled that we're just a little over 24 hours away or less. I'm sorry, it's Wednesday. What am I talking
yeah.
about? It's less than 24 hours away from, well, no. Yeah.
You're
The
like
games
20,
don't
you're
start
about
until 6.
27
So
hours away.
So I was
Yeah.
right. We're a little over 24 hours away from the Sweet 16 tipping off.
Quick question for you. You brought up cruise ship buffets. Your thoughts on cruise ships? High level thoughts.
So this is an interesting conversation to have with me, somebody who was born and raised in Miami, Florida.
Yeah.
So when you are a child in Miami, Florida, there's only 2 vacations your parents take. One is cruising, because they put you on a ship that, unless you fall overboard, they're not going to lose you. So it's a safe space. The adults could go do whatever they want. They let the children go do whatever they want. So it's either a boat cruise or it's Disney. So I grew up cruising. And so as a child, I loved it. But then when I became an adult, I was like, you know what? I don't want to get there on a boat. Put me on a flight, fly me to Jamaica, fly me to the Bahamas. I just want to get there. I want to get there fast, and I want to be by the pool with a lot of drinks and no kids around me. So I loved it as a child, but now you couldn't pay me to get on a boat cruise. Sorry.
Floating toilets. That's my high level thought about what a boat cruise is, a floating toilet.
Oh, boy.
On that note. So earlier this week, or I should say last week, Friday, we had Battle Bets 1. And yes, I'm saying Battle Bets 1 with the implication that we will continue to do the battle and the betting here on Sport Trade. Anita, of course, was a part of Battle Bets 1. Went out in the first round, but I would love your thoughts on how everything worked. We'll give you a little bit of the context before you do. We gave 8 people $100 in Sport Trade to live bet the NCAA tournament games. They had 25 minutes during 1-versus-1 battles to make more money than their opponent. We eventually did award Will the $1,000 cash prize for being the Battle Bets 1 champion. We had a ton of fun. Anita, your thoughts on Battle Bets 1? Your takeaway from the first ever live in-play betting tournament. No one's ever done this before.
I'm bitter.
Well, you're competitive. You're a competitive sort. Yeah.
I'm bitter that we were the first. Like I was part of the first go at it, right? Like we were the example, like that people could follow and say, "Oh, snap! I'm not going to do what she did." So going in, I'm thinking, okay, I have $100. Here are the teams that I like. Here's who I think is going to win. Here's the over or under that I think is going to hit. And so I immediately went on the first 8 minutes. How much time did we have before when we had to spend it?
Yeah, 10 minutes. You had to spend half of your bankroll, $50 in the first 10 minutes.
Exactly. So I went hard and heavy with the things I liked, and then I didn't see movement quick enough. And I'm like, oh, snap. I only have 25 minutes left, and I'm not seeing the movement. I'm not like, so I was just like, okay, regroup, sell off everything, and buy. And I don't remember the team that I bought, but when I first bought them, they went on, like, as we know, basketball is a game of runs.
Of
and
course.
They went on a run, and I was up like, I don't know, $15, $25, something like that. what I should have done is I should have sold right there, and I probably could have won. But then as time progressed, they started to diminish. I forgot the gentleman who I went up against. And yeah, so strategy, not correct.
Well, there were so many different strategies too that we found throughout the 7 different battles. 7 different battles. We found everyone had different strategies, and it wasn't necessarily one that ended up being the most effective. We had some people not buy anything until about 9 minutes in. They just wanted to see what was going on with the board. We had some people basically drop 70 of their $100 bankroll immediately to sort of try to box other people out on a game that maybe the opponent wanted to bet on. So a lot of divergent strategies, but again, not the last battle bets we're ever going to do. Again, battle bets 1, battle bets 2, I'll pull the curtain back, in the works. Hopefully we'll have something to announce pretty soon about that. We have a lot to get to today, Anita.
Hopefully we've got the NBA playoffs coming up, right?
Yes. Oh yeah.
We've got NHL playoffs coming up. I definitely want in on the NBA playoffs if that's when your battle bet 2 is going to happen. Count
and
me
we have
in,
opening day is in 8 or 9 days. So we got a lot coming down the pike here in terms of sports. A couple of things we're going to do today. We're going to start right where we started our conversation, which was the NCAA tournament. We're in the Sweet 16, as Anita mentioned. Games beginning tomorrow night. We wanted to do something before giving away some picks for the Sweet 16, which is, of course, on Sport Trade, you can buy and sell teams to do whatever in the futures market. And an example here that I'll pull up is you can buy and sell teams to not only make the Final Four, but to win the NCAA championship. So with that in mind, wanted to do a little bit of a draft of the 16 remaining teams with Anita. We'll choose 8 teams that we think will win the NCAA tournament. So we'll have 4 each. The thing here is, again, because of Sport Trade, they don't have to win in order to see profits. Now, I am approaching this exercise, Anita, as if I'm picking the team that's going to win the national championship. Now, my choices are based upon price, though. I'm curious to see where you're going to go with this. I'm going to be a gentleman. I'm going to give you the first overall pick, and we'll just go back and forth. So we're not going to do like a snake draft where you do 1, I do 2. We'll just go back and forth. So you have the right of first refusal here. You have the entire board, which is between us, with Alabama as the top team at 21-5. You're going to pick 4. I'm going to pick 4. Who do you like as the top overall selection of the 16? Well, 15 available because we can't trade on Princeton because we're in New Jersey. The 15 available teams. Who do you like the most?
Give me UConn, baby.
Okay. All right. Hey, that's okay. That's okay. They were on my draft board. We had them on the board. The scouts loved them. But that's okay. All right. So Anita has UConn. UConn, by the way, $9. They were second on my board, and that's fine, which means I'm going to get my number 1 team here. My number 1 team, the Texas Longhorns, also at $9. I love Texas. I think, a little spoiler alert, I don't think Houston makes it out of this weekend, obviously. So I think Texas is going to be the representative from that region. I love them. Night Owl, Dan the Man, and Anita, always looking good when you guys are on. Always a good day. Sorry, we do look good, but it is a good day when you guys are on. Thanks so much, my friend. Good to hear from you. And if you have picks too, Night Owl, send them. So you have UConn. I have Texas, Anita. Who's your second selection?
Creighton.
Not on my board. I'm going to be honest with you. Creighton, not on my board. $8. $8 will go on. Tell me, school me.
Just out of curiosity, why isn't Creighton? I mean, they check all the boxes. They've got really one of the easiest paths. They've got Princeton, who's on borrowed time right now. Listen, San Diego State, here's the thing. San Diego State plays excellent defense, and they're one of the best their defense, they have one of the best defenses against 3-point shooting, and that's where Alabama makes their money. So I think Creighton, and by the way, I'm going to toot my own horn. 50% of my brackets, I've got Creighton coming out of the South. I picked them even before the tournament began.
So you're making a great case for San Diego State, but you think in a San Diego State Creighton matchup, the Jays take that?
I think Creighton checks all the boxes. They're evenly balanced. They're top 20 in offense and defensive efficiency. They can do it all. They're solid inside the paint. They're a great shooting team. They're solid defense. I think Creighton can make some noise here. So yeah.
It is interesting that in our markets here, Creighton is the 5th highest priced team, which leads me to believe the market makers sort of agree with you that other than the top seeds left in their respective regions, those are the ones that people will want to go with. Okay, so
what did I get? What did I get Creighton with?
$8.
$8 a share.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
So I'm going to surprise.
I'm sorry. Your Texas is what a share?
My Texas is 9.
9. Okay, because I'm gonna keep track now.
No, please do.
And I'm gonna be blowing you up. I'll be blowing you up on text message.
I hope you will.
I
hope you will. Now you've played your hand here, Anita. So this is where I'm going to get unbelievable value. I'd look at the East region. You've got Florida Atlantic, Tennessee, Kansas State, Michigan State. I'm looking at my board here, and you can follow along with me. Michigan State's $3. Kansas State's $2.40. Florida Atlantic is $1.40, and Tennessee is $7. Explain to me why Kansas State is a dog against Michigan State. We'll go through it.
You've got Izzo coming to New York.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. The Izzo discount.
I started explaining. Now you're waving me off. Like, don't explain. Okay.
Give me the Wildcats. I want the Wildcats. Give me Kansas State, $2.40. One of the 4 teams on my board. We're throwing a party here. I mean, I feel like Kevin Costner in draft day. I'm just working this board like crazy. Your 3rd pick.
They're going to lose to Michigan State. You know that.
They're going to win. I think they're going to win.
Give me Tennessee.
Okay. All right. Tennessee at $8. All right. So this is the 3rd. This is the what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th overall pick. I will take Alabama. I mean, we're looking for value. I mean, that's unbelievable value. The top team on the board, regardless of I mean, we're looking at value right now. 21-5. Texas, Kansas, Alabama. I wrote Kansas State, Alabama. So I've actually got 3 different quadrants here. I believe you do as well, right? You have Tennessee, you have UConn, and Tennessee. Yeah. Okay. So I assume you're going to target the Midwest here with your final pick.
Give me Houston.
Okay. Houston at 1850. Okay. Does the Marcus Sasser injury worry you at all?
No, because he's been playing. Granted, they've been limiting his time. What is a concern is that they didn't blow out Northern Kentucky. They didn't blow out Auburn.
Right.
I do have some concern coming into to this tournament. Miami, they lost twice to Duke. They didn't look great. I'm someone who I like a team that's peaking coming into the tournament. I had Drake. Full disclosure, I had Drake over University of Miami. I lost there. I had Indiana over University of Miami. I'm going to take Houston over University of Miami. But Miami has looked good. This is probably a big reason why I didn't select Houston first overall. But I think to answer your question, Dan, I think Houston has been very careful and very methodical in regards to the minutes that Sasser has played.
So my last pick, again, Anita's final team, UConn at $9, Creighton at $8, Tennessee at $8, Houston at $18.50. I have Texas at $9, so we're straight up there. Kansas State at $2.40, and Alabama, the value of the draft, 6th overall pick at $21.5. So I have one left, and I'm looking at what has become a West Coast rivalry, and I am choosing between UCLA and Gonzaga. I've watched this Gonzaga team play, and it's just missing something. Like they just don't have it, whatever it is. As much as I like watching Drew Timme the last 15 years at the school, I think the run ends this weekend. I do like UCLA, so give me UCLA, which is also at $8. So my full team: Texas, Kansas State, Alabama, UCLA. Anita's UConn, Creighton, Tennessee, Houston. We will put this up on social. We'll vote and see who has the best team. Go ahead.
And just for poops and giggles, sure. Next time we do the show, we'll show how much money we both won with these picks, right?
Absolutely. Yep, I've got it written down here, and again, I'll put it out on social. So we'll dive into our Sweet 16 picks. I think we've kind of given some of them away. I was effusive in my praise of Kansas State, so I'll just start there. I've not been more enamored, Anita, with a player throughout the entire first 2 rounds of the tournament than Marquise Noel. This guy I love his game. I love his game. He's a New York point guard. The reason why he's not a bigger name is probably because of his stature. He's 5'8", so you're probably not going to see him play in the NBA. Maybe he gets a little bit of burn at some point, but he's just short. But the way that he's been able to control the first two rounds, the first two games he played 40 minutes against Kentucky. He had 27 points, 9 assists, and he was just in total control the entire basketball game. He got wherever he wanted to go. He set his teammates up perfectly. I love his game. I love that Kansas State is an underdog in this matchup. They're a team that's just $47 per share on the money line. Michigan State at 54 as it stands right now. Of course, our markets can always change. The Wildcats have beaten Texas. They've beaten West Virginia. They've beaten Baylor, Kansas, Iowa State this year. They've beaten Baylor twice, actually. And I think they're being disrespected. I think people look at the Izzo-ness and they're giving Michigan State the Izzo discount. I'm not saying that isn't an actual factor. Obviously, an unbelievable tournament coach. I think this Kansas State team is really good, that played in the best conference in the nation during the regular season. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. And if you think they're coming to MSG not knowing that they're a national underdog, I think you're making the same mistake everybody else is.
Well, first of all, this is my least favorite game to wager this week. So just FYI, okay. I don't have a lot of conviction on this matchup. I have some others that I love. Okay. I'll probably play this just because I am who I am. And
that could we put that on a t-shirt?
This is my least likely likable game on the slate. Listen, Michigan State's the only Big Ten team left. I think that tells you a lot about the conference. However, I am putting a lot of weight in Tom Izzo, right? 8-1 outright and 6-3 against the spread when favored in the Sweet 16. That the Garden is going to be rocking. There are so many people who love Tom Izzo that it is going to feel like a home game for the Spartans. Ty Walker back home in New York City. This is all he asked for was, Coach Izzo, please get me back to New York. I just, in my lifetime, I just want to play at the Garden. And he's been exceptional. This is a Michigan State team. They defeated Marquette, shooting only 2 of 16 from 3. And understand that they are almost 40% from behind the arc this season. So even though what their bread and butter was not working, they still were able to beat Marquette, which was a better seed than they were. And when you look at tournament play, a lot of it has to do with guard play. We're seeing it with the University of Miami and coaching. And to me, Michigan State checks both those boxes. So I've got a lean here towards Michigan State. But like I said, this is not my favorite play.
The Spartans' Final Four appearances in 2009, 2010, 2015, 2019 as well. So obviously the skins are up on the wall there. I think MSG is going to be rocking because Rick Pitino will probably be there. One of my least favorite people to ever cover in my time as a reporter. Another story for another day. Why don't we go? We'll go tit for tat. What's one of your plays?
Yeah, so let's go with my favorite play, and I know no surprise here because of my first pick, and that's UConn.
Yeah.
I'll lay the 3 against Arkansas. Sonogo has just been an absolute beast. He's averaging 17 points, 12 rebounds a game. They've got length, they've got athleticism. They're the second best rebounding team in the country, 57%. Meanwhile, Arkansas, they got very lucky against Kansas because Kansas couldn't rebound to save their life. Like I said, top 20 offense and defensive efficiency, and how Arkansas scores their points is in transition. And UConn has the 35th best defense against the fast break and 13th best defense in regard to rim protection. I also like the over here. Each team is going to get to the free throw line. Also, I think there's going to be a very fast-paced game. So I like UConn, and I like the over here. I have to say UConn probably is my favorite bet on the slate. What else do you have?
Really like UConn, the 4th-ranked team in the Ken Pom rankings behind only Houston, Alabama, UCLA, and the 4th in adjusted efficiency as well. I just really like them. I think Hurley's a really great coach. I think he's brought a life to them that just didn't exist previously since Kevin Ollie won them their last national championship. I do like that one. This one's going to warm the cockles of your heart. I like Miami straight up against Houston, $27 per share outright. Now, I'm not going to say they're going to win the game, but Miami played the game of its season against Indiana. I just bullied Indiana completely, I thought. They were much more active. Shot making was great. Just the act of breaking down what Indiana was trying to do defensively. It felt like every time they hit the corner, they were wide open and they cashed. And to me, Houston hasn't looked all that great, in my opinion, the last 3 games. I mean, they lose to Memphis in the AAC finals. They sort of toy with Northern Kentucky, then they ended up trailing Auburn by 10 before the big comeback. Isaiah Wong looked fantastic against Indiana. I'm not saying anything that surprises you, I'm sure. And I'm a little worried about Marcus Sasser the longer this thing goes. I know he had 4 days off here in between Sunday to Thursday. But I like the Canes. Don't call me a homer, Anita. I like the Canes. Again, maybe not to win, but I think it's just $27. There's a world, a possibility where they're trading in or around 50 or above 50 at some point during this game, and you could double your money there.
Yeah, I'm with you, lockstep. I do believe Houston's going to win, but I think this is going to be a close game, and I think I think the Canes cover. Houston 5-9 against the spread in their last 14 games. And I'm with you. They just have not been impressive this tournament. Like I said, should have blown Northern Kentucky out of the water. They didn't. Had to come back against Auburn. Miami is 7-2 against the spread as an underdog this season, and they're 5-1 their last 6 games. Omer, to me, really was the big question mark coming into the tournament. How healthy was he going to be? And he looks great. So I think Miami's style of offense, that fast-paced running gun, they've got great guards. Their coach is an absolute blast. They love their coach. They play hard for him. He's a good coach. Again, I think Miami keeps this close. So I do like Miami getting the points.
Almost 20 years since George Mason's run under Larranaga. It's hard to believe. Very hard to believe. Okay, showing my age. So we've got, again, we'll recap real quick, the NCAA Futures Draft. Anita, UConn, Creighton, Tennessee, Houston. I have Texas, Kansas State, Alabama, UCLA. And this weekend, I like Kansas State and Miami, not to win, but Miami to at least get you some points. Anita, real quick, run yours down one more time.
My picks?
Yeah.
So my picks are you for us, what we drafted?
No, just your individual plays real quick.
Oh, my individual plays. Yeah. Okay. So I like Gonzaga and UCLA. I like the over in that.
Okay.
Both these teams, I think they're going to foul Timmy. You talked about Timmy earlier. I think Timmy's going to see a lot. I think he's going to put up a lot of points at the free throw line. I think that's going to be their strategy. So, and eventually without Clark, the regression defensively for UCLA is going to have to come through. And I think Gonzaga is going to take advantage of that. So Gonzaga and UCLA, I like the over there. I already told you I like UConn laying the 3, and I like the over there as well. Miami +7. And another favorite play of mine is Creighton. I know it's a lot of points, but I'll lay it. Princeton, they're on borrowed time. They beat Arizona and Wisconsin, exposing flaws. But as I said earlier, I just don't think Creighton has any flaws. 76% from the free throw line, top 20 in offensive and defensive efficiency. I like them a lot. So I'm laying the points with Creighton.
There's an endowment joke I'm not going to make about Princeton. We're just going to move on. We have talked about, and frankly, we have argued consistently the last several months about the MVP race in the National Basketball Association, and it is really coming to a head, and I'm bringing it up only because I'm about to be right, Anita. We've gone back and forth about Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid for forever. I'm going to show you a graphic here of the pricing on Sporttrade since January 21st. On that day, Nikola Jokic was trading at $56.50 to win MVP. Joel Embiid, just $11. And you can see in the 2 months since, this is almost completely flipped. In fact, since March 4th, on March 4th, Joel Embiid was trading at $13 to win MVP, and Nikola Jokic was at $78. Now he's at $24. Completely flipped. I'm going to tell you why. Embiid's been on an absolute tear. 10 straight games with 30 points or more, dating back to February 27th. He hasn't had fewer than 27 in a game since February 13th. He's averaging 36, 9.5, and 4 assists this month. Here's the biggest reason to me. The Sixers are 8-2 as a team. The Nuggets are 4-5. Now, Jokic still getting his 25, 13 assists, 9 rebounds. He's a freak. He's unbelievable. I get it. But I did tell you, Anita, fatigue is there. And as soon as the assembled media got the scent of a different stallion in their nostrils, they were going to give it up to somebody different. And I think that's exactly what we're seeing. Again, since March 4th, Embiid was trading at $13 to win. He's now up to 66. That's a 407% ROI if you got in early on Joel Embiid. Are you surprised?
Here is more so than being surprised. Granted, Denver has been losing some games as of late, but Jokic is still each and every night 1 assist away from a triple-double, 1 rebound away from a triple-double. I can't remember the last time Embiid put up a triple-double in the NBA. He only averages 3 assists a game. So and this is a conversation I have with many, many team sports, right? When we appoint somebody the GOAT or we're going to give somebody the MVP, I think too much is looked at in regard to the success of a team. If you look at Jokic statistics on the season, blows everybody out of the water. Like, Jokic to me deserves the MVP more so than anyone else. But yet we're looking at a team sport, and because the Denver Nuggets have been losing as of late, and now the 76ers are making a really big run in the Atlantic Division, I do believe they win the division. Not sure what those odds are on those shares. And would not be surprised now that they're going to make some noise. Who knows? Maybe they jump up to a higher seed as we get closer to the postseason. So because of the team is doing better with the 76ers, all of a sudden, Embiid now is the favorite to win the MVP. So I just, and then there's the other caveat that a lot of people are talking about, and that is that those who are going to have to vote for Jokic don't look at him like a Larry Bird or, and it's, I'm forgetting, I should know, like, the other 2 NBA players who've won the MVP 3 times. So they don't want to put him in that group, in that category, because they're not looking at Jokic as one of the greatest of all time. So he's got that against him. So yeah, I mean, you should have bought Embiid when you had the chance.
They have virtually the same record. Denver's 48-24, first seed in the West. The 76ers are 48-23, third seed in the East, and they're 3 games behind the Milwaukee Bucks for the 1 seed. Honestly, I mean, Denver basically has the 1 seed wrapped up. If the Sixers can get above a 2 seed, and they're only 1 game behind the Boston Celtics, I think it's Joel Embiid's award to lose, frankly. I think it's just kind of where we're at. You've got a bunch of plays tonight for us, Anita, as well, correct?
I do. Well, not a bunch. I have 2.
Some. Okay. Well, hey, that's more than 1.
So very interesting. Luka now, and we're talking about the Dallas Mavericks going up against the Golden State Warriors. Luka now has gone from questionable to probable. Okay. So if Luka plays, I love the Mavs here. Golden State 8-29 away, 27th net rating away when they are 5th at home. Talk about a discrepancy. It's just unbelievable. And they're losing by 7 points a game. So I like the Mavs. Again, if Luka is active, as I like to call it, active and attractive, still no Kyrie.
He sure is.
Right. Still no Kyrie. But if by chance, I don't know, maybe they're warming up and something happens to Luka and he's not active and he's not playing, I love the under here. I just gave you all the reasons why I don't think the Golden State Warriors are going to make some noise on the court tonight. And without Luka and without Kyrie, because of everybody that they traded, they are ranked 27th defensively now since the trade deadline. They're 5-10 their last 15 games, and they're only averaging 108 points a game or less in 5 of their last 6 games. So just keep that in mind. Luka active, take the Mavs. Luka inactive, take the under in this matchup. And the other one I love is the Lakers. This has got to be my best bet tonight. Lakers. Okay. Why aren't they favored against the Suns? I just don't get it. This is a must-win game for them. They're outside looking in now. They're out a half a game from that play-in opportunity. They've got the best defense this last month, the last 30 days. The Lakers are sporting the best defense in the NBA, 6th best rebounding in the NBA. And meanwhile, the Suns, no KD. Ayton is expected out because of a hip issue. Who's going to defend AD? I don't know.
AD is doubtful. Listed as doubtful.
Oh, is he? Okay. Yeah. Well, maybe that's why. Maybe that's why it's a pick-em.
This is news to me. This is news
to me. He wasn't doubtful a few hours ago. See, this is why odds makers. This is why odds makers are the smartest. They are the smartest people on the planet. The Suns 12-21 on the road without KD, and they're 1-5 their last 5 games. So very interesting. I still like the Lakers even if they don't have KD. AD, because you've got a Suns team who doesn't have KD and doesn't have Ayton. And,
it could be
they as well as the Mavs, everybody that they traded off, unless KD is active, you have no chance. You have no chance. You have no depth. You've got no defense.
Well, so do you think
those are my 2 plays?
Do you think it was because AD's out or because Mo Bamba's out? Mo Bamba also been ruled out tonight for the Lakers.
Yeah, but I really.
I'm joking.
When did this come down since we started the show?
I'm joking. I mean, he is out. I just, I don't think Mo Bamba's moving the needle too much.
No.
We'll wrap up with the Dell Technologies match play, which is going on. Obviously, a different formula for what we typically see on the PGA Tour. 64 golfers grouped into 4 sets of 16. They're actually in action right now. We do on Sport Trade have the ultimate winner up, in which Scottie Scheffler is the top-priced golfer, of course. He's been on an absolute tear this year. $10 per share plus $8.82. Anita, who do you like here?
Yeah, so a few things for those that are watching, right? So this is the Dell Technology match play. So a few things. These guys are going to be playing 7 matches in 5 days. So a few things I'm looking at. Guys that are healthy and fresh, guys that are good on Pete Dye courses, because Austin Country Club is a Pete Dye design. It's a Parkland style, so you've got to not only drive it far, but you have to be accurate in regard to your drives. They've got 5 par 4s that are 400 yards, if not less. You've got to putt well, and you've got to play well in match play. So with that being said, I know we don't have a lot of time here, so I'm just going to be really quick.
Yeah.
I think Tony Finau, who, by the way, he's going to win his first match. I just checked the standings. He's up 3 right now, so he's going to win his first match. He's playing in a really favorable group. I think Finau makes his way in the finals. I've got Finau winning this whole damn thing, right? I know he's going to have to get either through Rahm or Mitchell. He's also going to have to get through Hoagie. And then on the opposite side, a lot of people love Scottie Scheffler. I think that he could be upset by Max Homa. So in my finals, I've got Finau, I've got Homa, and I've got Finau winning the championship.
Let's go, Tony Finau. Mark Goldsberg, I hope you like that breakdown. He loves our golf breakdowns. Thanks, Mark, for watching. Anita, thank you so much. As always, we will rejoin you next week. I know we've got to get out of here and get some stuff done. So thank you so much. We'll see you again next week.
You got it.
All right. See ya. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you next time.